So, how do a narcissist use our emotions as fuel? Our emotions are their fuel. Just let that sink in. Because every single time I've noticed that any toxic person, and especially narcissistic person, enters your life, suddenly a nice, good, reasonably balanced person suddenly turns bitter. There is this anger or discomfort, subtle anxiety that's already building up in their body, that shows in their senses. The jitteriness, very small, but it's notable enough. If you know your own body, if you're cautious, if you're not even cautious, if you're someone who is aware of themselves, their body, you have to be more conscious, more of conscious. They start with taking away the balance of emotions you have. Because I'll tell you, narcissist is a black hole. They are empty. And unfortunately so empty that you can fill them with the entire universe and it will still never be enough. It's a bottomless pit that will never be filled, that can never be filled. First, one has to understand this. You can give them anything and everything, it will never be enough, because they just do not have the capacity to take and hold anything of value. Because why? They are empty. Empty, and nothing can fill them up. That's how badly empty they are. Now, it's not our job to fill them up. No. We are not anybody's saviors. You have to remember this. Why? Because the first thing they start affecting as they enter your life is affect your emotions. And this reasonable stability you hold in your own emotional climate. You become angry, uneasy, anxious. There is this sudden sadness in your life. You're a joyful person. Smile just goes out of the window. Because you're joyful and then they break you down. They say or do something that immediately takes that glow out of your face. It becomes so common that eventually you become scared of displaying positive emotions, that you almost become like a stoic robotic person, that you are careful not to show positive emotions, because somehow you unconsciously picked up on their patterns, that whenever you are actually in a good mood, they are breaking you down immediately. Like within few minutes they are taking the joy out of your life, and whatever it is that is bringing that smile or positivity into your mind, they are successfully breaking it down enough for you to lose your smile. Your peace of mind is gone, your sleep is disturbed, your body is wacky. Something in some vulnerable parts in your body will start get affected. I have watched people with gut issues, intestinal issues, lungs, someone who has been healthy all their life. Okay, I have watched a woman. She has suddenly out of nowhere, she was in relationship with this narcissistic person. Within 2 weeks, she has to go to an emergency situation in hospital because of a sudden asthma attack. Can you believe that? How can a perfectly normal, healthy person get into a romantic relationship with a narcissistic person, and within 10 days, in the middle of the night, she has an asthma attack, severe enough to go to an emergency situation? And guess who is there in the hospital for her? Him. The savior, the perfect savior, who is there for you, in the middle of the night when you had a health issue out of nowhere. It's just a fresh relationship. There are parents, siblings, relatives, everybody else that can be there for you. But they want to be there for you. They want to be too close to you too soon. So they have to create a crisis for you. Believe me, it's not even an exaggeration that this happens this soon. They create chaos and emergencies, health issues, mental breakdowns. People, all of a sudden, a positive, beautiful person starts crying, having mental breakdowns, feeling like tormented, feeling uneasy and foggy in their head. The moment these people enter our lives, chaos and emotional breakdowns are very close to follow. They follow very, very, very closely. It just doesn't, you don't need to be with them for years or decades for the breakdown of the body and mind to happen. And emotions are their fuel. Our emotions are their fuel. So they trigger these unnecessary, negative, unhealthy emotions in us. Jealous, anger, bitterness, anxiety, depression, sadness, health issues, tension, worry, concern. Something that is not an occupying, 24/7 occupying thing in us suddenly becomes a norm, a normal thing, a regular thing in our lives. Because why? The chaos has to be there for them to steal our energy, our emotions, our life force. Okay, talking in spiritual terms, they are there to rob you of your life force, whatever gives you life. They steal it, rob it, use it, and then throw it away. And they need the supply of, like an electricity, they need this supply of emotions non-stop. For a person who is reasonably healthy, balanced, calm, and capable of not falling into emotional breakdowns, which is very rare, we are all humans. That is what they take advantage of. But for those extreme rare people, they can see the narcissist damage on their life already and they walk away quite soon, somehow or the other. But those people, those kind of lucky people are very few in number. An average person always falls into the trap. Their life goes into shambles, slowly but surely. Chaos, negative emotions, crisis after crisis after crisis, bad things, negative emotions, hurt, failures, pain, suffering, like out of nowhere. They are capable of doing that to you. Why? This is why I added the spiritual element in this narcissism channel, because narcissism is spiritual emptiness. It's not just a psychological, emotional, personality emptiness, but spiritual emptiness. So your life force becomes their life force, which means they take your life force and they throw their garbage on you. No wonder your life is chaotic, your emotions are chaotic, your body is screaming, you're anxious all the time, you're worrying out of nowhere. A stable, reasonable person who is confident and happily and their own person suddenly becomes slowly becomes a zombie, an unrecognizable shell of themselves. Why? They are robbing you of your life force, precious spiritual energy that makes you who you are. And that is why all the negativity is dumped on you and your life is in breakdown and chaos after chaos after chaos, crisis after crisis after crisis, whereas they are happy. The more your life is in shambles, the more they are joyful and enjoying. You won't pick it up immediately, but you have to pick it up and you have to run away. You don't walk away from this kind of destructive people. You just run without looking back. It's not always easy, but believe me, it is always worth it. Okay, so don't give your emotions to anybody easily. Now when I say emotions, people think kindness, love, compassion, affection and all that. These are the weapons they will definitely use, but these are different creatures altogether. They use negative emotions. They love to suck away to negative emotions, because Positive emotions are good. They just have this inherent hatred for anything good. As in anything that's constructive in nature, they just cannot take it. They have to break it down, create something negative, and they have to take the negative thing out of it. Like that's why I have to say black hole. Because only the darkness they take. They want it, they love it. They cannot take the positivity. If you are a very stable person who can never be disturbed so easily by their disturbances, you have a very strong spiritual element to you that prevents you from their abuse affecting you, they run away from you pretty quickly. They will try to break down, but they can see that there is this strength in you that they cannot break down. So you are not a fuel for them, because you are emotionally not being disturbed, throwing out negative emotions like anger, bitterness, jealousy, unhappiness, anxiety, sad, pity, lack of self-esteem, negativity, negative self-talk and negativity on others, gossip, rumors. Everything has to be negative, destructive, and then they love it. But if you are a person with the spiritual force around you that you are unwilling to let anyone break you down, they run away from you because they see that you cannot be broken down. The positivity, the constructive elements in your life are over encompassing the negative elements. You're not a perfect person, but you are strong enough that your positivity is over encompassing the negativities. So they cannot steal your life force. So pretty soon they run away. There are so many people who they can easily break down. Why would they want to waste their energy on you? That's how they work. Predators. Emotional predators who will also affect all the other areas of your life. But the first breaking down comes from emotions, health, mind, confusion, fogginess. Eventually, every single one of them start robbing money also from you. Pay attention to these emotional vampires, the spiritual darkness that consumes anything that's good, and is also scared of the goodness. That is why they have to run away if you are impenetrable. Don't give them emotions, trust, affection, anything easily. It's okay. Healthy people are understandable enough that they do not force you to give away your trust, love, affection, kindness, whatever, to them easily. They understand that it's a process. But a narcissist, they do it so quickly. They don't want to give you time to think about the urgency in which they create relationships and bondings and friendships and this enmeshing. There is a word called enmeshing. That is how they steal your life force from your life, through this entangling and enmeshing. That is why they force relationships and friendships and affections and all that very, very quickly. They cannot take months and years to build. They just don't have it in them. That's why they make everything urgent. That's why they have to lure you into thinking, oh, I am the best soulmate. I am the extraordinary person that is your savior. That's always going to be yours. And very quickly it happens. Very, very quickly that you are just in this romanticized version fantasy, and they catch you when you are in the middle of that fantasy, hook you up, and then all this chaos, destruction, negativity, damaging happens very quickly. So pay attention to the emotional vampires. Don't give them what they want immediately and see how hard they try to steal that away from you. So I'll cover more on this later, but this is more of an introductory thing. Pay attention is what I wanted to say.